My friends, we recently did a video about some of the worst mistakes that mixers make, and this was the first one on my list. Listening to your mixes on different playback systems. And this can go from beginning to intermediate user. There are a lot of pro mixers that just know their speakers and feel like it isn't really that important to check on another source. And then there are pros who check on everything they can get their hands on. Take someone like Chris Lord Algae, for example, who tells people it's important to listen on small or medium because that's what people are listening to their mixes on. Well, by the end of this video, I'll explain the different types of playback systems as well as why they're important when you're referencing. And I'll also give my personal recommendations of each, and I've listened to a lot of monitors in my day, so stay tuned for that. If nothing else, remember this. A mixer should listen to their mixes on a variety of playback systems to be sure that the mix translates well across different listening environments. So let's take a listen to some different sounds. We're gonna go from studio monitors to in your car or even just a phone. Let's listen to a few different things. You think that's crazy? Let's do the same thing, but this time we're gonna add reverb to the source. You see how that beautiful lush reverb sounds nothing alike on the different sources? Well, don't worry, my friends. We're about to take this one head on. Now let's start with one we're all super familiar with, studio monitors. Well, we've all most likely seen or used these, right? The purpose of a studio monitor is to show us a neutral and accurate representation of the audio signals coming out of them. That's it. And there are tons of studio monitors to pick from, whether you're spending a couple $100s or you're spending $4,000 for a pair of Genelecs. They all have different curves trying to showcase this neutral representation. And for the most part, all sound wildly different. But none of us have ears that have the same curve either, which is why certain people tend to prefer one over the other. And as a mixer, you should listen to your mixes on high quality studio monitors when you have the chance to, because they're properly calibrated to accurately reproduce the frequency response and dynamics of the mix. It's going to allow you to hear details and nuances of the mix and make critical decisions about balance, EQ, dynamics, and even like your spatial positioning of the elements. You'll typically see them paired with a sub, and I have some subs I'm trying to pair with myself. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and like button if you're loving the content. Transition game's still on point, and speaking of point, let's get back to the one I was making about playback systems. Now, we can talk about something you might not be as familiar with, but probably get confused about when you see them in studios. Near field and mid-field monitors. Let's start with the first one, near field monitors. Near field monitors are small, high-quality studio monitors that are designed to be placed close to the mixer's ear, typically at ear level. They provide a focused and direct sound, allowing the mixer to hear the details of the mix without the influence of the room acoustics. And this is huge because your room acoustics play an integral role in every mixing move that you make. To make this work, they're actually placed about 2 to 3 feet away from the listener. Since they're closer to your ears, you're getting less distracted by all the reflection points in the room, and you can hone in on those minor details. And this is why near field monitors are commonly used in professional studios and ideal for critical listening and making precise adjustments to the mix, usually, pretty close to you. And these also tend to be the move when you're in a smaller space. I know it might look cool having huge monitors in your setup, but it can actually do more harm than good. And now we're talking about the next topic, midfield monitors. If the naming convention isn't a dead giveaway, near field monitors are meant to be near your ears and midfield monitors are meant to be somewhere in the middle of where near field and far field would be. Expect to keep these 5 to 10 feet away from the listener. You should expect to see these on monitor stands, behind a console or a workstation, and these have larger drivers. You should expect to see them in rooms larger than your typical bedroom. But let's get to one of our favorite points of reference, headphones. We all have them, right? For a long period of time, I mixed exclusively on headphones, only checking other playback systems when I felt like I was done. But the main reason I chose headphones for mixing is because they provide an intimate and detailed listening experience. It really allows the mixer to hear subtle nuances, stereo imaging, and panning effects, but not just any headphones. You have to make sure that headphones are designed for mixing that don't have crazy frequency bumps like Dr. Dre speakers or Beats or something like that. It's important to listen to them on high quality headphones that have a flat frequency response response and are known for producing an accurate sound. At the same time, it's important to keep in mind that headphone listening can be different from listening on speakers due to the nature of just binaural hearing. So it's essential that you cross-check the mix on other systems as well. It's really hard to get reverb right when you're dealing with headphones, I promise you. But on to our next and possibly the most important playback system. One's meant for the consumer. And this sort of taps into why we mix things the way we do in the first place. Mixes are ultimately meant to be listened to by consumers. As much as it's for us, it's really more for them. And they're listening on things like home speakers, car audio systems, portable devices, and earbuds. It's important for you to listen to your mixes on consumer playback systems to kind of assess how the mix translates to different listening environments for your customers, you know? Think of it like this. Your opinion about a mix doesn't even matter at the end of the day. It's all based on the listener's opinion. If everyone thinks a mix is good, it's good even if you hate it. And if you love it and the general consensus is that it's trash, well, that's exactly what it is. That's why you have to hear things the way other people are going to listen to it. If everyone listened to a song on Apple AirPods, but you mix on Barefoots and love how it sounds in your room, even if it's not translating, you're gonna have to make some adjustments to make other people happy. This is gonna guarantee that the mix sounds good and translates well to a wide range of playback systems that the intended audience is used to. And the next topic isn't actually a playback system, but it's definitely a system that you have to work into your workflow. Reference tracks. For those that don't know, a reference track is a professionally mixed and mastered song that's in a similar genre or style that you're working on. This is great for building a familiarity with all the playback systems that you have access to. Knowing go-to reference songs on different speaker sources makes it really easy to judge if you're going in the right direction with your mix or not. Mixers should choose reference tracks that are well mixed and mastered and are known to sound good on different playback systems. Comparing your mix to reference track can really help you hone in and identify any potential issues or discrepancies and make adjustments accordingly. At some point, listen, a lot of pros reference their own mixes to see if they're on the right path with their track, huh? They're just trying to make sure they can recreate that magic, especially when someone's coming to them for that specific sound. So yeah, these tracks might not be a speaker, but they are a point of reference and just as important, to be honest. So let's go over all of these one more time. Near field monitors, midfield monitors, headphones, consumer grade, and reference tracks. By listening to mixes on a variety of playback systems, a mixer can make sure that their mix translates well across different listening environments and leading to a more polished and professional final mix. Final mix 2.0. This is really the last mix.mp3. But you guys know that. And if you don't know, well, now you know. Does this make you want to grab another pair of monitors to reference on? Is this already part of your typical routine? Leave it in the comments below and I'll chat with you fine people, like I always do.